Shloka number 18. That is today's class. That is Karmanya karmayah pashyet akarmani cha karmayah sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayuktah kritsna karma krit. So as I said before, this is one very important shloka in this whole chapter and also in Bhagavad Gita. It may appear a little bit confusing, but if we take the right approach, we will be able to understand it. We will see it step by step. So karmani means in action. In separately the word and action separately. Two words are there, in and action. Akarma means inaction. Next word is akarma, which means inaction. That one word, inaction. Yaha pashyet. Yaha, the one who sees. Pashyet, he sees. So basically the first line, actually you have to do you have to switch the words. It basically means the one who sees inaction in action. But first the word was in action, that you put it as a second word to get the correct. So first part says the one who sees the inaction in word, then action. Inaction in action. That is the translation of the first part. The next part is akarmani. So the akarmani here means in inaction. In inaction, cha also karma, action. So the second part translates as, you see action, the one who sees action in inaction. So the first part talks about the inaction in action, and the second part talks about the action in inaction. We have just swapped the words. So then we will see the meaning and then you will know what it means. Saha buddhiman manushyeshu. Saha. So that person, buddhiman, he is the wise, manushyeshu, among the human beings. Saha yuktaha kritsna karma krita. So that person or those people, yuktaha, are the yogis or the masters endowed with this knowledge, and they are kritsna karma krit. They have performed all actions. There is no need for them to perform any action. So those who see inaction in action and action in inaction are truly wise amongst men. Although performing all kinds of actions, they are yogis and masters of their actions. So it appears now Krishna is just trying to complicate or contradict or, say something. He wants to say something, but his teaching appears to be very contradictory. So this is also the other story we will say in Bhagavad Gita. There are like certain knots. We know the story of how Vinayaka, he agreed to be the scribe for Vyasa. So when he signed the contract, he said, okay, I will do this on the one condition, Vyasa, that you must not stop at all. I will keep writing and it must keep flowing. So it is said that at that time, Vyasa, he thought about an idea and he said back to Vinayaka that, okay, I will keep telling, but you should understand every word of what you are writing. So apparently he gave some notes, like some difficult shlokas like this, where he had to sit and think and then only write. So this is one of those notes. So what it actually means is, it looks like it is very contradictory, but sometimes why do you give this contradictory answers? For a reason. So Krishna is giving this. So first the reason we will understand. So if anything is not known, then we can give the direct teaching. If the child is learning all the fruits, then we'll take an apple and we'll tell the child, oh, this is an apple. Remember this color, this shape, you should remember that it is an apple. So the child learns, okay, this is an apple. If it is in this color, if it is in this shape, this is an apple. So a direct teaching can be given when something is not known. If a thing is known, then no need for any teaching at all. So that is obvious. But if a thing is known incorrectly, then a viparita teaching must be given. A contradictory teaching must be given. How you will give the contradictory teaching? Meaning you are acknowledging that the person has understood incorrectly and then you will give the teaching. Like how do we say that? Okay, suppose you go to shop with your husband. Then we go, we see all the saris. Then he says, oh, you buy that blue sari. Then you know that that color is not blue. The color is green color. So what do you say? Yeah, I'm going to buy that sari. That sari which you told us blue is green. So what will you say? You will acknowledge that he said that it was blue and you will correct it saying it is actually green and I'm going to buy that sari only. If you said I'm going to buy that green sari, what he will think? You are buying another sari which is green in color. He will not know that he understood that sari to be blue instead of green. So how are you explaining it? I will buy that sari which you said as blue, which is actually green. That sari I am going to buy. Like that you will specify, you will acknowledge the understanding of the other person, and then you will give the correct answer or the correct clarification. Only then he will understand that, oh, I thought the sari color was blue, but actually it is green in color. So he will understand it. So for that only purpose only, Krishna is given this contradictory answer, because the what you have understood, all the people have understood, is incorrectly. So to counteract that, he has said this. So what is he talking about now? So we know that we all are made up of two parts, this Atma and this Anatma. We saw very elaborately in chapter 2. So Atma itself, we saw that there are many qualities of the Atma. We saw Atma was Nityaha, which is everlasting. We saw Atma as Nirvikaraha, which is changeless. Satyaha, which is existing at all time. Sarvagataha, all pervading. Kutastha Nityam, everlasting and constant. Aprameyaha, not conceived by the senses. And Akarta Abhokta, which is the non-doer and the non-enjoyer. Shadvikara Rahitaha, which is devoid of the 6 qualities. Na Hetu Karta, it does not cause also. So like this we saw many qualities. So here we are going to focus on one of the qualities, which is the Akarta Abhokta, which means the non-doer or the non-enjoyership. So in which shloka did we see this? We saw in shloka number 19. Yayenam veti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhau tau na vijanitaha nayam hanti na hanyate. So here what did we say? We said that the one who thinks that the Atma kills, or the one who thinks that the Atma is being killed, both are not in the correct knowledge. For the Atma can never be killed or it cannot kill. So there we explained that the shloka, it meant the Akarta Abhokta quality of the Atma, which means it does not do nor does it enjoy. So this is what is going to be focused in this shloka. So we have to see this shloka with one example, like how we saw this blue and the green sari. Like that we will take some example and take first part and the second part and we'll try to understand. So first part is dealing with what? Inaction in action, right? So just keep that in your mind. So now we are going to see an example. So there is the father and son who is traveling in a bus. The bus is moving. They both are sitting in the seat. So the boy says to his father, see dad, the trees are moving. Like that he tells his dad. So the dad will say that the trees are not moving. It is the bus which is moving. So the trees are not moving. So to explain this, what he will say, you think that the trees are moving, but they are not moving. So in the action of the trees, see the inaction. Action meaning you have understood to be moving. The seeming action, for you it seems as though the trees are moving, but the truth is that you are moving. So but don't think about yourself moving, it will confuse you. Just focus on the trees now. So the trees are not moving, but you are seeing it to be moving. In the action of the trees, see the inaction. That is what is the first phrase. We'll see another example for the next phrase, then we will relate everything. For the first phrase, we say, see the inaction in the action. For the second phrase, we see the action in inaction. So that is the second phrase. So in this example, we will take that there is like in the beach, there is a mother and daughter standing. The daughter is watching all the ships which are in the sea. So the daughter says, Mom, look at all the ships. It just looks as though it is in the same place. It is not moving at all. That is what the daughter will say. So for which the mother says, no, actually the ships are moving. They are, because they are very far away, you don't see them moving. Actually, they are moving. So in the inaction, what you think is inaction, in that see the action. What you're thinking is inaction. The girl has misunderstood it to be inaction. In that she should see action. In the first example, the boy thought the trees were moving, which was action. In that he should see inaction. The boy should see the inaction in the trees, and then the girl should see the action in the moving ship. So this is, now we have kept this separate. So these are the two examples that we saw. So what Krishna wants to say is, how is it with the Atma? The Atma is akarma swarupam. So what you think is doing everything, which is this I, you superimpose all this action on this Atma. You are superimposing, you are thinking that this Atma is doing everything. It is not doing anything. It is akarma swarupam. That's what in the first phrase he wants to say. The first line, first phrase will be translated as in the seeming action of the Atma. That is, in the incorrect understanding of you that this Atma is an action, see the inaction, because it is the akarma swarupam. It cannot do anything. It cannot be the cause of this karma. And in the second phrase, what he wants to say is, in the seeming inaction of the body. Like suppose you are saying that this body is sitting. So the body is sitting. So we are not seeing any movement. But the body will only be there quiet for some time, because it is always the karma swarupa. If you think body, mind, everything, you cannot shut it. It will only be there for a few seconds. You think, oh, now I'm not going to move. I'm going to sit and I'm not going to move anywhere. Immediately you will say, feel like going to the toilet. Then you will think, oh, no thought should enter my mind. Now I'm going to meditate. Immediately thoughts will come into your mind. So we cannot really stop the activities of the mind, body, or the intellect. They are the karma swarupa. What you think as inaction, like we think, oh, sitting just like that, it is inaction. It is not. So in that, in the body and all, he says, see the action, because it will spring into action. It is only in one of the gunas, like the sattva, rajas, and the tamas. It is in tamas. It will quickly spring back to rajas. It is potential. It is in potential action all the time. Even if you outwardly see it as not doing anything, it has the seed of action in it. So that's all is said. If we understand these two things, that this Atma is this akarma swarupam, what you have understood to be acting, the seeming action of the Atma, see the inaction always. And in the seeming inaction of the body, see the action always, because the body is the karma swarupam. That is what is the explanation of this. He is going to explain what is this jnana karma sannyasa yoga. Who will do this jnana karma sannyasa? Who will do the sannyasa of this karma? The Atma cannot do, because it never does the karma. The body, mind, etc. cannot leave the karma. Then who is the one who is doing the sannyasa of the karma? Is this person who thinks. The jiva is the one who is deluded with the incorrect knowledge. Through the knowledge of this, that, oh, Atma is always a karma swarupam, Anatma is always a karma swarupam, so it will keep acting. When that knowledge comes to him, then he is the one who will become the jnani, and he does this jnana karma sannyasa. Through the knowledge, he leaves the action. He separates the Atma. Whenever he separates the Atma from the Anatma and know that they are doing their own things, then the binding of him doing the karma doesn't happen. Till that point of time, the binding of the karma will keep happening to you because of the incorrect understanding. So that is what is explained in this whole sloka. So now people will say there's action and inaction, inaction, action. Why should I know all these things? How practically it is okay for me? So if we take the second part, if we think about the action and inaction part, what is the thing is that we all want like peace of, we want to sit in a quiet room. Then we say, oh, then I will do this meditation. Then I will be able to advance. And also we blame everything on the external circumstances. Oh, whenever I retire, I will go in the spiritual path. But that is never going to happen because you know that it is karma swarupam. Wherever you go, work will follow you. Wherever you go, people will follow you. Wherever you go, duties will follow you. There is no end for all these things. So when you know that this is the karma swarupam, you will accept that fact and you will not attach yourself to that part, saying that, oh, when I get peace of mind, when I get time for myself, when I sit quietly in a room, like that, those conditions and expectations will not be there. And people will not be disturbed by external situations such as noise, etc. Oh, this is disturbing my spirituality, like that, that attitude will not come because it is bound to happen. You have to accept it. And what is the point with this first part, which says, see the inaction and the action? In that, it says, okay, suppose you are, suppose you do mistakes in your life. Some people are really not able to move on. So, for that, this first phrase will help. Why? Because you will understand it as a part of your prarabdha or part of your, what to say, your body and mind has done it. Okay, it is necessary that you recognize the mistake and you correct it. But whatever has gone has gone. So you can attribute it to the mind and the body and say, okay, let me move on. Next time I won't do. But something in my body and mind was there which acted in this way. Like that, you can free yourself from your past. So these two ways it has been said to help practically. Only two things need to be understood. Actually, it will appear very confusing, but this Atma is this Akarma Swarupam, and this the body, mind, the Anatma is this Karma Swarupam. So we have to separate the two and know the nature of each and not be confused with not to superimpose one over the other. And in the next 6 shlokas, he is going to keep explaining this. He is going to give one point again till 24th shloka. So it will become even more clear to us. Yasya sarve samarambhaha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagnidagdha karmanam tamahuh panditam budhaha. So here he says, Yasya sarve samarambhaha. So Yasya, whose, sarve, every, samarambhaha, undertakings, Kama sankalpa varjitaha, which is devoid of kama. Varjitaha is devoid of. Kama, we know the desire for material pleasures. Sankalpa is having the resolve. Varjitaha, jnana agni dagdha karmana. Jnana is this knowledge, agni in the fire. Dagdha is burnt, karmana, the actions are burnt. Tamahuhu panditam buddhaha. Him, ahuhu, he is being addressed as Panditam, a sage, Buddhaha, the wise. So even the wise people are calling this person a sage. Which person? The one who is devoid of the Kama and the Sankalpa. All his karma is being burnt by the Agni of the knowledge. So what is the general translation? The enlightened sages call these persons wise, whose every action is free from the desire for material pleasures and who have burned the reactions of work in the fire of divine knowledge. So what did we see in the last shloka was, this is actually a continuation of that shloka. You can also translate it in this way. So see the inaction in action can also be translated as, in the action of the jnani, see the inaction. Because in the action of in the seeming action of the Atma was your first phrase, right? In the seeming action of the Atma, which you understood incorrectly, see the inaction. So if you replace the Atma with the jnani, in the action of the jnani, you can see the inaction. In every action of the jnani, in karma of the jnani, you can see the inaction. And then in the second phrase, you can substitute it as in the inaction of the Ajnani, see the action. Or in the sannyasa of the Ajnani, then he is bound by karma, see the action. Like that it can be translated. So what is the difference between the Jnani and the Ajnani? It is only the difference in the knowledge. So first line we said, see the akarma in the karma of the Jnani. So the Jnani has no karma. See the karma in the akarma of the Ajnani. So Jnani never has any karma and the Ajnani always has karma. So that was the derivation from that. Because why? There is a difference in the knowledge. That's all. That shift is only the knowledge, the shift in the knowledge. So we also said that who is the one who will do the karma sannyasa? We said jnana karma sannyasa. Karma sannyasa means leaving the duties, leaving the karma. But we had that word called jnana karma sannyasa. Through knowledge you are leaving the duties. You are not physically leaving the duties. Who is doing that? Who is doing it? Atma cannot do it because it doesn't do karma. Then the anatma also cannot do because it will always do karma. Then who has to do it? So the person who has wrongly understood that this is karma, this is karma, that person through knowledge when he does the sannyasa is jnani in all the undertakings, which is both vyavaharika and the vaidiha. That means the worldly and the spiritual on the context. He is devoid of all the desires. He is not doing anything for desire. So what is kama? Kama is the desire. I want. So another meaning is also the phala trishna, which means if I have done some work, I want the result of it. So that is also another desire. And what is sankalpam? So two words are used here. Kama. Kama we said is desire and also the desire for the results. Sankalpam is to remember again and again, associate with that object. We saw in the example, right? If you keep thinking of something again and again, it develops into desire. So that is one meaning. And also preeti, that means preeti. There is an attraction for an object. That is also known as the sankalpam. So these two things are the cause for the Ajnani to be bonded. But this Jnani, what he does is that he does not have this kama and he does not have the sankalpa. And what happens because of that, it says in the second line that the fire of jnana, the karma is burnt. Like if you have a seed and you toast it in the fire and then you try to grow it, it will not grow. So like that, the jnani's karma is burnt. Even though he does action, it does not yield any results. Therefore, there is no bondage for him. So the sanchita and the agami karmas are burnt. We saw about the karma, I think. There are three types of karmas I explained before. The sanchita karma, which is the collective karma of all our lifetimes. And prarabdha karma is we will take only one subset of that karma and we will get that appropriate body. Whichever subset comes, we don't know. It is the probability. So if it a 50-50% subset we are taking, then we will get the Manushya Janma. And then whatever we do in this Janma will be the Agami Karma. Whatever we are doing now, what it creates, Agami. Agami goes back into the pool of Sanchita Karma. And then our cycle happens. But for the Jnani, what happens is Sanchita and the Agami Karma will be totally burnt. And then Prarabdha will continue, like how it is said, Prarabdha will continue for his lifetime, because just like when there is a fan which is rotating, even if you switch off the electricity, it will be, the movement will be there. Just like that, it is explained that for the Jnani, the Prarabdha will just continue for a little while till that is also exhausted and he leaves the body. And this person, by the wise, even by the wise, is said to be a Pandita. Pandita means, Panda meaning Atma Jnana. There is a translation for that, like that. So he is the Jnani. It is said by the wise that this person is a Jnani.